Hello everyone, welcome to Algebra 1. We are going to multiply rational numbers today. So we have one and only one goal for the day, and that is to multiply integers and rational numbers. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Let's say that we have a game company, because you know Multipro likes games. This game company gives coupons on F1 games. F1 is Formula One. And there were 4 games bought. And their price was $50 each. But they had a coupon. So this is the price. And this is the coupon, $5 coupon. Okay? And there were 4 games bought this day. So let's see how much money these people saved. So we have minus $5 plus minus $5 plus minus $5 plus minus $5. So minus 5 plus minus 5 plus minus 5 plus minus 5. What is this total? Well, this is minus $10. And if I add that to this, then that's minus $15. And if I add that to this, then this is minus $20. So they sold $50 worth of stuff. 50 times 4 is 200. So 50 times 4 is how much they sold, $200 worth of stuff. But we can write this a different way. We could say $5 times 4 coupons. And this is the same. Holy moly, what is going on? This is the same as $20. Okay, so how much did the company make? They made $180. Okay, let's talk about some rules. Rules. The product, again, that's when you multiply, of 2 numbers of the same sign is positive. Alright, so if they have the same sign and you multiply these numbers and you get a positive answer. That's pretty easy. Let's look at another rule. The product of 2 numbers of different signs is negative. Alright, so if you have a product of 2 numbers and they have different signs, then you get negative. That's pretty easy. If they're the same, it's positive. If they're different, it's negative. Alright, let's look at some examples. Alright, let's look at the case of when we have 1 times minus 3. So this is a positive 1 times a negative 3. So if the signs are different, we know that the answer has to be negative. And then what's 1 times 3? That's 3. Wow, we got this. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say we have minus 7 times minus 12. Alright, so if we look at our rules, this is minus and this is minus. These are both negative. So they are the same sign. So that means we are going to have a positive answer. And 7 times 12 is 84. All right, great job. Let's look at another example here. All right, let's say that we have 40 times minus x minus 3x. All right. So we're going to practice something that we did previously called the associative property. Do you remember this? The associative property. So we're going to say that 40, and we're going to break out the numbers in here, which is a 1, times minus 1 times x. Okay, and then we're going to do minus 3x. Right? With the associative property, we want to get all the x's next to each other. All right, so then we're going to use the substitution rule. And we're going to do 40 times minus 1. That's minus 40. X minus 3x. All right, then we are going to do the distributive property. Do you remember the distributive property? I sure hope so. All right, so we know that this is with an x and this is also with an x. So then we can combine these to say minus 40 minus 3, because this is a minus sign and this has a minus sign, times x. All right, so minus 40 minus 3, we learned this last time by subtracting rational numbers, would be minus 43x. So great job there. All right, let's look at another example. All right, we want to find minus 1/3. Minus 1/3 times 7 over 12. All right, so these do not have the same sign, right? So therefore, we know the answer is going to be negative. 1 times 7 is 7, and 3 times 12 is 36. Good job. All right, let's look at another example. We want to evaluate. That's not what I meant to draw. Y squared times minus 3 over 7 if y is equal to 1 over 3. All right, so let's try to do this. So let's plug in 1/3 into y over here. So we have 1 over 3 squared times minus 3 over 7. And I'm not very good at writing. All right, so what does this become? Well, when you square something, it's like multiplying against itself. All right, so let's just do that. 1/3 times 1/3 times minus 3 over 7. Okay. All right. So we're going to break this up. We're only going to do two numbers times each other at the same time. We're going to do these two, and then we're going to just carry this one over here forward. Okay? So 1 times 1 is equal to 1 over 3 times 3 is 9. And this is, again, we're going to carry this over, 3 times 7. Remember, both of these were positive, so the answer is going to be positive. Okay, now we have two numbers that have two different signs. We have a plus and we have a minus. All right, so 1, so we know the answer is going to be negative. And then, so 1 times 3 is 3, and 9 times 7 is 63. And we can reduce this to 1 over 21, minus 1 over 21. Alright, if any time I'm going too fast, you can always stop and rewind and watch it again. Alright, let's talk about another rule here. The product of any number and minus 1 is its additive inverse. Alright, so let's look at this algebraically. So if we have minus 1 times a is any number, this is the same as a times minus 1. And this is the same as minus a, because they each have a different sign, so it has to be negative for the answer. So let's plug some numbers in. Let's say that we have minus 1 times 3. This is the same as 3 times minus 1. Alright, these have opposite signs, so then 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. Remember, these are their additive inverse of each other. One is positive and one is minus. But they're the same number after the sign. Alright, let's look at some problems. Let's say in the USA flag, the length of the Union is 2/5 of the fly. The fly is 7/13. That's a terrible looking 7 there, right? Homely thing. Of the hoist. Alright, so if the fly is 6 feet, how long is the Union? Alright, so let's look at a flag to try to figure out what we're even talking about. What is the Union? What is the fly? What is the hoist? Alright, so I'm not very good at drawing, but let's try to imagine that I might be somewhat decent. Alright, so we have a flag. It's a rectangular shape. I got that part right, but my edges are not very straight. And we have this part up here at the top left. And if you remember, it has, let's draw it white. We have all these stars, right? Lots of stars. 50 of them today. Alright. That wasn't always the case, but as we added states, okay. I don't have room for 50, but you can imagine there's 50 there. Okay. And then you have all these stripes. And there should be 13 stripes, which I'm not going to draw 13 stripes. Okay. And, oh, it's nice. It's all red, white, and blue here. But let's label what part is the Union. So this part is the Union. That's interesting, right? And then this part is the fly. And this part is the hoist. Alright, now that we know what the flag looks like and which part is which of the flag, let's solve this problem. Alright, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So let's define some variables here. Let's say that x is the fly, which is 6 feet from the problem. And let's say that y is the union, and we know that that is 2/5 of x. And so we know that x is 6 feet. So we can plug that in here. We can say 2/5 times 6 feet. This is 12/5 foot. Or we can say 2 2/5 foot. Alright, so that's how long the union is if the fly is 6 feet. Pretty cool problem. I thought so anyways. Alright, let's look at another problem. Let's say that temperature drops 2 degrees Fahrenheit for every rise of 530 feet in altitude. Okay, and we want to know about how many degrees Fahrenheit difference Fahrenheit difference is there between the ground temperature and the air temperature at 2,120 feet of altitude. Okay, so let's just throw some variables down here. Let's say that x is 2,120 feet. My handwriting got a lot better in the second half of that. So I can do it. Alright, and let's say that we have y for this difference. Okay, and we know that this temperature decreases at 2 degrees Fahrenheit times x over 530 feet. So every 530 feet, you decrease 2 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we just had to plug in x here. So let's do this. 2 degrees Fahrenheit times 2,120 feet over 530 feet. So this is 2 degrees Fahrenheit times 4, which is 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is the difference. Now, difference is when you subtract, right? So we're subtracting two different temperatures. That's the difference. It's a total of 8 degrees Fahrenheit difference. All right, let's look at another problem. Let's say that an even quantity of negative numbers is multiplied. Okay. What is the sign of the product and why? great question. Great question. All right, so we're going to have an even quantity. So that's like 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and we're going to have negative numbers that are multiplied. Okay, so every number is negative and they're going to be multiplied to each other. We want to know what the final sign is. So let's look at a couple examples. Let's do easy numbers because we want to simplify things, right? We want to make math easy. So let's do minus 2 times minus 2. So if these have the same sign and they are multiplied, we know, based on the rule from earlier, that we should get a positive answer. And 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, so let's look at another group of even. Let's do 4 numbers. Let's do minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. Alright, now we're going to break this down. We want to make this simple. We're only going to do 2 numbers at a time, and then we're going to multiply those times the next 2 numbers, and then we're going to multiply that against the final number, right? So let's see how this goes. So same 2 signs right here. So we know that this is a positive 4. And there we go. Now let's carry these 2 because we haven't done anything with them yet. Minus 2, minus 2. Alright, now we're going to do these 2. Now these have the opposite sign. Okay, so we know if it's opposite sign, we get a minus value. So 4 times 2 is 8. And we got to carry this last one here. Right? Alright, now we have the same sign again. So we know the answer is going to be positive. 8 times 2 is 16. So we noticed something here. If we didn't have this number here, our result would have been negative. So if we would only have 3 negative 2's. But if we had 2 or if we have 4, then our answer is going to be positive. Okay, so this goes back to the rules. And let's expand upon those rules. If 2 or an even quantity of the same sign are multiplied, the sign is positive. Okay, and let's look at the other case for an odd quantity. If an odd quantity, let's say 3 or larger, of numbers, let's see here, of different signs, are multiplied, the sign is negative. All right, great, thank you. And if you like the video, please click the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I will see you guys next time.